When women dare to fully be themselves, to rise up as the divine beings they are, to operate in their magic, their sexuality, their power, they are always labeled one thing: wicked.
Wicked is a podcast for women who dare to walk in their true identity, power, and magic, who go against societal culture of being seen and not heard, who are the black sheep and powerhouses the structure tries to defeat. And here is your shepherd leading you astray, Mystic.
Hi everyone, welcome back. The next 2 episodes are going to be a little different, and they are open letters to all the mothers out there. And even if you're a father and listening to this, I'm sure it would be wise for you as well. I came up with this idea, a little backstory here. When I was pregnant, and a lot of you who are listening to this know the story, but even before I was pregnant, I started getting dreams, and this little girl was appearing to me and saying she was my daughter. And when I was pregnant, I didn't really tell anybody I was pregnant. There was a couple people that are really close to me that I told. And then I just let people find out as they saw me. And, I didn't really say much. And I started getting messages from just about everybody, students in my school, friends I haven't talked to in years, family members, all kinds of people. They all were messaging me saying they were having dreams about me, that I had a little girl, or this little girl showed up to them and said that she was my daughter. And they all described her the same way, with these really intense eyes and this dark black hair and very spiritual feeling and powerful feeling. And even my madrina was seeing the same thing. I obviously was in my dreams. And so there wasn't really a doubt in my mind that I'm obviously having a girl. There was even people on Instagram who I didn't even know that were reaching out to me with the same dream. So I free birthed my baby. So I was at home, just me and my husband in my bedroom. And when my baby came out, and I didn't even check, because I was so sure, yeah, it's obviously a girl. And after about an hour and a half, my husband was like, so are we gonna check if it's a boy or a girl? I'm like, check? Why would we need to check? And he's like, well, let's just check. And so I lifted up the baby, and it was a boy. And the utter shock and confusion that ran through my body was something else. And especially because in that moment those of you listening to this who are mothers, and especially that were able to give birth at home and undisturbed, what that cascade of hormones rushing through your body when you have your baby, and then having a shock like that. It was definitely something else. But my whole pregnancy, I spent writing letters to this little girl about certain stages in her life. I planned on giving her these letters and what not to fall for in this patriarchal system, and how I was gonna let this little girl be as wild as she wanted to be. And I know that that is a tough thing in this society. And when I had Zion, I spent a lot of time in postpartum thinking about spiritually what this means. I've chalked it up to that Zion was probably that female in a past life. But we'll never know the real answer, right? I realized that there's also a responsibility, even with my first son, in raising a little boy, because you're raising up the next generation of men that are either going to be ones who keep the programming of the patriarchy going, or They're going to be the ones that support the women and don't fall for that bullshit. While I was debating on what to do with these letters, I decided that I wanted to turn them into letters to both of my boys because they could be very easily changed that way. Because being a mom of two boys, it really is my responsibility to model and show what a strong woman is. And because strong women are not tolerated in our society, it's our responsibility as boy moms to make sure they know how to tolerate, quote unquote, and support a strong woman and listen to her and her needs and teach them how women should be treated. So I wanted to do the next two podcasts as open letters. This one is going to be an open letter to all of the girl moms out there. Dear mother to all the little girls. First of all, congratulations. You are raising the next generation of warriors. The little girls who will one day be women who know how to be vocal about their needs, who stand up for their beliefs, chase after their dreams, never settle for mediocrity, and will not be a rehab for men. By having a girl, you have been initiated into a new role in life, one where you must be consciously aware of everything you do, especially the relationships that you keep. Children imitate exactly what they see, and your actions alone will tell this little girl how to be. This is especially important when it comes to relationships. By tolerating and not tolerating certain behaviors in the men you have relations with, you are teaching your daughter what is okay and what is not. And this is a double responsibility. Because by teaching her to be only in healthy relationships and not tolerate abuse of any kind is automatically calling up the men to be better. You see, the majority of complaints women have about men are only present because we teach them it's okay by accepting it. We accept it because when we were young, not only were we modeled this behavior of unconscious acceptance, we were groomed into thinking it's okay. It starts with the common saying, little girls should be seen and not heard. That we need to show up looking pretty but not use our voices to state our opinions. If your little girl is a talker, let her be. And I know sometimes this can be hard. When you just want a moment of peace or some privacy to talk to a friend, don't tell her she talks too much. Give her space to open up dialogue with you. Teach her that her opinions matter, that her voice deserves to be heard, even when she's coming against you on a matter. Instead of telling her, because I said so, tell her your why. If she disagrees with you, ask her hers. It's okay to have an open, honest dialogue with your child. They know more than you think and have just as valid feelings and thoughts as you do. This will build trust and respect in your relationship. It will help her to feel you are her safe place and she can tell you anything and come to you at any point in her life with any feelings she is having. This is essential for little girls, so they can feel safe enough to come to you at any age with any problem without the fear of being brushed aside or judged. There are enough people in this world already doing that to her. You need to be her safe place. When she knows she can come to you at any age with any problem, you can be her guiding light and maybe even be her salvation from the abuse she cannot recognize. When she's angry and raging or crying over something you find trivial, don't tell her she's being a baby or a brat. Hug her and help her to regulate and acknowledge her feelings are valid. How many of us were groomed at a young age that we were too emotional and punished for it, like put in time out until we calmed down, which taught us nothing but isolation for having feelings. And now we struggle in relationships where we are scared to vocalize our feelings when we don't like what is happening because we are afraid to be abandoned or not heard, so we remain silent. If you have a strong-willed daughter, don't try and make her bend. Let her stay strong. This may be hard sometimes on your part, especially when she's coming against you. But raising a daughter to know it's okay to be vocal and express herself means you'll run into this. Don't raise your strong-willed leader to be a follower, even if this means standing up to you at times. As hard as it may be, especially when you're getting looks from other people, don't try and tame your wild child. Let her be free. Let her be loud. Be the one who fully accepts her for who she is and doesn't try to change, mold, or suppress her into a predetermined role society has cut out for her. Teach your daughter to love her body. You teach her this by loving your own. Do you complain about your weight in front of her, or your boobs, or your thighs, your hair, your wrinkles? Do you skip meals in front of her? Or does she see you take care of your body through your food choices, through exercise, even something like rubbing cocoa butter on your skin? Sit and eat a nourishing meal with her. Rub some of that cocoa butter on her little arms. The way you speak about yourself and your body in front of her is exactly what she will repeat. So choose your words and actions wisely. Treat yourself better for her sake. Teach her about nourishing foods, why it's important to eat them, how she should never put her health last. Teach her what foods are good and how to listen to her body when she eats. If she says she's full, don't make her finish her plate. If she wants more, don't make a comment about how much she's eating. Just serve her with a smile. Sit and enjoy food together. Teach her the traditions of your family and heritage. Make mealtime important as it was for generations before us. When women gathered and cooked and prepared meals together and shared stories, this was an honorable and sacred time that has been lost in this generation. It's of utmost importance to bring it back. This is where she will learn conversation, healthy eating, and that food is our friend, not our enemy. One of the most important things you can do is be aware of the relationships you keep. This directly teaches your little girl how to act with others. Show her that if family is toxic or abusive, that even if they are blood, it's okay to distance yourself from them. Show her the right kinds of friends to keep around, ones that support you just as much as you support them, ones that have the same family values. Of course, every family will differ from your own, and that's really important too. One of the issues today is that people are intolerant and have no idea how to disagree on topics. Honoring your space for disagreement also means your daughter may disagree with you. Show her that's okay and open dialogue about it. When she's old enough, let her make her own choices, even if it's not what you would do. Honor her need for independence and self-expression. If you have cultivated a relationship with her of trust and safety, trust she will come to you with those scary problems and that she will seek your guidance when needed. If you show her respect from infancy and beyond, she will always come back to you. When it comes to your love life, you really need to pay attention, for this is the love you are displaying to your daughter. For every bad behavior you are tolerating, every time you don't speak up, you're teaching her what's okay. The excuse, "I'm staying together for the children," doesn't work anymore. All this does is model unhealthy relationships dynamics for your children to imitate. That in normal love relationships consists of yelling, manipulating, or any other type of abuse. What are you putting up with because you're afraid to be alone? Or because of your own self-worth issues? Are you with a man who lies, who cheats, who treats you like shit but you always come up with excuses for? Your daughter will see this and think it's a healthy relationship. Ask yourself if the way your partner speaks to you, you would be okay with someone speaking to your daughter that way, and encourage her to be in a relationship with this person. Do you speak your needs to your partner? Does he respect those needs and have a conversation with you about them? Does he express his gratitude for you and you to him in front of your daughter? Do you openly show basic affection and appreciation? What healthy relationship traits are you demonstrating for her to follow? All these actions which are demonstrated for her is what she will live out. She will repeat your actions over remembering your words. Don't be a rehab for men. It's not your responsibility to fix, change, or heal them. It's their responsibility to do that themselves. Yes, we all have wounds, but there's a difference between working on those issues together so that you can move forward in your progress in life and just going day by day, refusing to change and repeating the same patterns over and over again. Teach her not to fall in love with someone's potential, but where they're at now. How many times have you been in a relationship and you stayed because you saw the potential in somebody? It doesn't ever mean they'll reach that potential. It doesn't even mean that they want to. A lot of people are happy where they're at and do not like to change. For you to be able to show her what is okay, you have to figure that out yourself as well. Are you and your partner showing and displaying what it looks like to have conversations when you disagree? And when both of you have behaviors that aren't working in a relationship, how to fix them and how to change and how to move on? This is so important, and it's not something that should be done behind closed doors. Your children should see both you and your partner striving to be better. Of course, you're not perfect. Neither of you will ever be, and that's okay. The most important thing is to see two people healthily working on their own behaviors in order to stay together. That's really all you can ask from a relationship. They're the hardest things to keep because nobody wants to work on themselves. Take responsibility for your actions and have a partner who will take responsibility for theirs. That alone will teach your daughter so much. Last but not least, you need to force yourself to face your fears, to do the things that scare you, that you think you can't do. Do all the things that are hard. Go deep into each one of your wounds and heal them. Aim so high for yourself, knowing that your ceiling is going to be your daughter's floor. Don't expect yourself to be perfect, because no matter how hard you try, there will be times when you fall short. But what your baby girl will remember the most is the humbleness of an apology. It shows that you too are human and can make mistakes just like she does. How many of you have gone through hard times in your childhood and things you could still remember that one of your parents did to you, and an apology at that time or even now would have made the world of difference? Sometimes all we want is for the adult to take self-responsibility and stop trying to pretend that they're Superman or Superwoman and that they make mistakes and are human too. Do that for your daughter. Express yourself and don't be afraid to go against the norms of society. Don't focus on fitting in or keeping up with the Joneses. Be true to you and do things with a sense of purpose and reverence, not just because the imaginary rules of society say so. Be a rebel if that's who you are. Go against the grain. Teach her it's okay to speak up and speak out. Teach her how to be a leader. Let her lead you sometimes. Show her it's okay to not give a fuck what anyone thinks of her if she's being true to her heart and following her dreams. That comments of others don't matter, that being liked by everyone doesn't mean shit. Teach her to be free. That no matter who comes against her in life, if she knows something to be true in her heart, to follow that guidance above all else, even if it means doing something opposite of how you would have done it. Help her to discover what is true to her heart, what she feels is right. Be her guide to follow those dreams, because one day you'll have to let her go so she can do it on her own. You're teaching her how to be her own guide. But to do that, you need to do it for you first. And you need to face all the things that are stopping you from living to your heart's fullest. All of the comments you are afraid of, the looks, the stares, the judgments. Flush them all down the toilet. Because when she sees you do that, she will do it too. And never, ever be afraid to be wicked and raise your daughters up to be wicked with you. Thanks for listening to today's episode. If you want to learn how to become even more wicked, check out School of the Mystical Arts, where you will find me daily teaching and connecting. Be part of a community filled with other badass women supporting each other and manifesting their dreams. SchoolofTheMysticalArts.com. A link to a 3-day free trial is in the show notes. I'll see you there.